The universe has a way of keeping balance, making sure that no one escapes the weight of their own actions. Every move, every whisper, every scheme carries a price. Those who threw thorns in your path thought they were building their own empires. But fate has a way of making architects of destruction live in the ruins they designed. The ones who tried to slow you down, they were only tightening the rope around their own destiny. You see, the universe doesn't operate on petty games. It moves like a storm, silent at first. But when it hits, there's no escape. The most dangerous power is the one no one sees coming. That's why you, the chosen ones, remain hidden. Not because you are weak, but because your power terrifies those who sense it. They mock you, try to drag you down, thinking their words can rewrite the path that was carved for you long before they even knew your name. They whisper about you in shadows, yet they are the ones who fear the darkness the most. Irony, isn't it? That the ones who tried to bury you now find themselves sinking while you rise. Your presence haunts them. Your silence is louder than their noise. They can't stand that no matter what they do, you keep moving forward, untouched by their chaos. The same obstacles they placed in your way became the stepping stones to something greater. The harder they pushed against you, the more unstoppable you became. They thought they were setting traps for you, but in the end, they were the ones caught in them. Something is shifting, and if you've made it this far, it's not by accident. The world has tried to keep you in the dark, but that won't last much longer. Your power is waking up, and soon, those who doubted you will have no choice but to watch you rise. But before we unlock the truth hidden from you, take a second to do 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe so we can find more chosen ones like you, and drop "I am ready" in the comments. This isn't just a video, it's a signal, a trigger for the transformation you've always felt coming. If you're truly chosen, you'll stay until the end, because deep down, you already know. This message is for you. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Stop underestimating yourself. Your quiet power is a weapon. You walk into a room and no one senses the storm beneath your skin. They see someone calm, someone composed, someone who doesn't crave attention. They think they have you all figured out, labeling you as just another face in the crowd. But what they don't realize is that they are standing in the presence of something rare, something unpredictable. You are a paradox, a force wrapped in silence, a storm that chooses when and where to strike. And that's exactly why they never see you coming. Your power isn't loud, and that confuses them. People expect strength to come with arrogance, for confidence to demand the spotlight. They look for the ones who boast, the ones who announce their presence, the ones desperate to prove they belong. But you don't need validation. You've already won the game before they even knew they were playing. You don't hold back out of fear. You hold back because you understand the long game. The real players move in silence, watching, learning, preparing. Flashy people spend their energy seeking attention. But you're conserving yours, storing it, refining it, waiting for the right moment. And when that moment comes, it won't be just an entrance. It'll be an event, a shift, something that forces the world to acknowledge what was hidden all along. They underestimate you, and that's their mistake. They assume silence means weakness, that humility means submission. But what they don't understand is that humility isn't surrender, it's patience. A tiger in the tall grass isn't weak because it crouches. It's calculating. A storm on the horizon isn't powerless because it hasn't arrived. It's gathering force. And you're no different. One day, they will look back and realize the truth. The person they ignored, the one they dismissed, the one they thought was just like everyone else, was the one who changed everything. But by the time they recognize it, it'll be too late. The shift will have already happened, the power already unleashed. And all they'll be able to do is watch. For now, let them believe what they want. Let them assume you're ordinary. Let them think they've figured you out. Because when the moment comes, when you decide to move, when you step forward and show even a fraction of what you've been holding back, nothing will ever be the same again. Number 2, don't resist the struggle. It's the fire that forges your greatness. Nothing you've been through was an accident. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment where it felt like the world was against you, it was all part of something bigger. The struggles that tried to break you weren't random chaos. They were calculated tests, a process, a transformation. While others lived in comfort, unaware of their limits, you were being shaped, sharpened, and refined into something unbreakable. The world isn't kind to those with true power. It will throw obstacles in your path, hoping you'll stumble. It will push you into the fire, expecting you to burn. But what it doesn't realize is that the fire didn't destroy you. It purified you. While most people collapse under pressure, you adapted, survived, and evolved. You became the one thing the world fears the most, someone who cannot be broken. Think about it. Why do the strongest always seem to endure the most suffering? It's because greatness demands resistance. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Steel isn't strong until it's been through fire. The chosen ones, the rare ones, are never given an easy road, because an easy road leads nowhere. Your struggles weren't punishments, they were preparation. Every setback forced you to think deeper, move smarter, and develop a level of resilience that most will never understand. People who live in comfort will never know what it's like to walk through storms and come out stronger. They crumble when things go wrong because they were never built to withstand the weight of true power. But you didn't just survive. You adapted. You learned. You became something more. And when the time comes for you to step fully into your power, everything will make sense. The late nights of questioning, the moments of isolation, the times when it felt like no one understood your journey, it was all necessary. Because now, nothing can shake you, nothing can break you. The world tried to crush you, and instead, it created a force it can no longer control. They don't see it yet, but soon they will. Because you weren't just suffering. You were being built for something far beyond the ordinary. And when the moment arrives, you will rise. Not as a survivor, but as a force they never saw coming. Number 3. Be ready. Your presence alone shakes the weak. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to prove a thing. Yet, the moment you walk into a room, something shifts. People glance at you, then quickly look away. Some get nervous, others feel uneasy. And the ones with the weakest foundations? They start to crumble, even if they don't know why. You don't intimidate people by force. You do it by simply existing. That's the power of the chosen ones. It's not arrogance, it's not aggression. It's something deeper, something unspoken. A quiet strength that disrupts the weak, shakes the insecure, and exposes the ones who pretend to be more than they are. They feel it when they're around you, the weight of their own self-doubt. You don't have to do anything. Their own minds betray them. What they don't realize is that this isn't an accident. This isn't something you force. This is who you are. You were built different. The power inside you has been carefully placed, hidden, locked away until the right moment. If the world truly knew what you carried, they wouldn't just feel uneasy. They would be terrified. And that's exactly why the universe has kept you concealed. Because not everyone can handle the force that lies beneath your skin. This intimidation works in your favor. It filters out the ones who don't belong in your life. The ones who can't handle your presence naturally distance themselves. They shrink, they avoid, they make excuses. But that's their problem, not yours. You were never meant to lower your energy to make others comfortable. If your presence makes someone uneasy, it's because they were never supposed to stand next to you in the first place. And then there are the few, the rare ones who see you and don't flinch. The ones who recognize your power, who aren't afraid of what you hold within. They don't just tolerate your energy, they respect it. These are the ones who belong in your circle, the ones who understand what you truly are. So let the others watch from a distance. Let them feel uneasy. Let them walk away. You don't need their approval. You were never meant to blend in. The ones who fear your presence, they sense something beyond their understanding. And one day, when you decide to reveal even a fraction of your true power, they'll realize they were right to be afraid. Number 4, open your eyes. The world's illusions are meant to trap you. While the world moves like a hypnotized crowd, chasing distractions, trends, and validation, you stand still, watching, observing, seeing the game for what it really is. They drown in the noise, desperate for attention, addicted to the illusion of success, consumed by empty pursuits. But you aren't fooled. You see the cracks in the mask, the strings being pulled, the hidden forces at play. You were never meant to follow the herd. You were meant to rise above it. Most people live inside a carefully designed illusion, one they will never question. They accept the lies, the deception, the false narratives, because the truth is too uncomfortable. But not you. You see beyond the surface, beyond what is presented. You see people for what they truly are, not what they pretend to be. Their words might deceive others, but not you. You recognize the hidden motives, the insincerity, the fear behind their confidence, and that makes you dangerous. They can't control you because you don't fall for their tricks. They can't manipulate you because you read between the lines. You see the patterns that they refuse to acknowledge, the cycles they keep repeating, and that's why they try to discredit you. That's why they label you as different, distant, or too serious. But deep down, they know the truth. You aren't blind like them. But here's the thing, this ability, this clarity, is not without consequences. Knowing too much can be dangerous. If people truly understood what you see, they'd either crumble under the weight of it or try to silence you. Not everyone is ready for reality. Not everyone is strong enough to handle it. That's why your true identity remains hidden, your power veiled, your presence underestimated. You move carefully, staying 3 steps ahead, while they think they have everything under control. You are playing chess while they struggle to understand the rules of checkers. You navigate the world differently, not because you are disconnected, but because you refuse to be fooled. They live inside a carefully built illusion. You are the one who sees the exit. And when the time comes, when the truth can no longer be ignored, you'll already be ahead, untouchable, unshaken, unstoppable. Number 5. Think bigger. Small minds will never understand your destiny. Not everyone is built to see beyond the ordinary. Some people are trapped in small thinking, bound by the limits of what they've been taught to believe is possible. But you were never meant to fit into their version of reality. Your destiny is colossal, far too vast for ordinary minds to grasp. That's why your true identity remains concealed, because if it were revealed too soon, those who lack vision would try to shrink it down to their level, box you in, and suffocate your potential before it even takes shape. They fear what they don't understand. They see someone who refuses to conform, who thinks beyond the limits they've accepted, and it unsettles them. Instead of expanding their minds, they project their insecurities onto you. They mock what they can't comprehend. But here's the truth. Their doubts, their limitations, their judgments, none of it applies to you. They are playing checkers while you are operating in an entirely different dimension. This hidden phase you're in, it's not a setback, it's a shield, a time for you to grow, refine and sharpen your edge without the weight of their expectations or the interference of their limited mindset. Some people would love nothing more than to clip your wings before they ever see you fly. That's why your power remains a secret, for now. When the moment is right, the world will see. Not as an introduction, not as a slow reveal, but as a shockwave that reshapes everything. The same people who dismissed you will have no choice but to acknowledge what was always there. A force beyond their comprehension, a mind too sharp, a spirit too relentless, a destiny too powerful. But until that moment, let them think what they want. Let them assume you're ordinary. Let them underestimate you. Let them believe they have you figured out. Because when the time comes for you to step into your full power, there will be no warnings, no explanations, no need for validation. You will rise. And they will realize, too late, that they were never even in the same league as you. Number 6. Stay silent. The world fears what it can't control. You see things differently, and that alone makes you dangerous. While most people are tangled in the distractions of daily life, consumed by fleeting trends and shallow conversations, your mind operates on an entirely different level. You don't just think outside the box, you've left it behind completely. You see patterns where others see randomness. You question what they blindly accept. You sense what's coming long before it arrives. And that's exactly why the world isn't ready for you. People fear what they cannot understand. The truth you carry is too vast, too disruptive, too ahead of its time for the average mind to process. If you were to reveal everything you know, every insight, every realization, every vision, it wouldn't just challenge their beliefs, it would break them. The foundation they've built their lives on is fragile, held together by illusions, half-truths, and borrowed opinions. And you're the earthquake that could shatter it all. This is why you remain hidden, not because you lack power, but because your presence alone threatens the order they cling to. Society isn't built for people like you. It's built for those who follow, who obey, who accept the rules without question. But you are a disruption, a force of change, a mind that cannot be contained. They don't just misunderstand you, they fear what you represent. If you were to fully step into your power now, the world wouldn't embrace it. They would resist, fight, even try to silence you. Not because you're wrong, but because you are proof that their world is too small. That's why your identity remains a secret, a hidden force moving in the background. Your time hasn't come yet, but it will. When the world has evolved enough to withstand the truth, when the weight of its own delusions becomes unbearable, that's when you will rise. Until then, you walk among them, unseen yet unshaken. Your power grows in silence, waiting for the moment when it can no longer be ignored. The day will come when the world has no choice but to face what you have always known. And when that moment arrives, you won't need to force anyone to listen. The truth will be undeniable. Number 7. Speak less, move smarter. Your power is in your silence. In a world obsessed with noise, you stand apart. While others scramble to prove their worth with empty words and desperate proclamations, You remain still, watching, calculating, waiting. And that is exactly what makes you dangerous. Your silence isn't weakness, it's precision. It unsettles people, makes them question what you know that they don't. They mistake your quiet for absence, your patience for hesitation. But the truth is that you don't need to announce your power, because power like yours speaks for itself. Those who constantly declare their greatness are not truly great. They are trying to convince themselves more than anyone else. But you don't have that insecurity. You don't chase recognition or validation. You don't waste your energy proving something that is already written into your existence. And that's why they don't see you coming. Your silence is a shield. It keeps you free from the distractions, the petty games, the superficial noise that consumes so many. While they argue, you execute. While they seek attention, you make moves in the shadows. And by the time they realize what's happening, it's already too late. They underestimated the quiet one, the one who didn't boast, the one who seemed unbothered. But you were never unbothered. You were just focused. And here's the part they'll never understand. Your silence is louder than any words ever could be. It carries a weight, a presence, an energy that commands respect without ever demanding it. When you finally act, you don't have to explain. You don't have to justify. The results will speak for themselves. Those who were meant to understand your power will see it without you ever saying a word. And those who don't, they were never meant to be in your world to begin with. By moving quietly, you stay ahead. You observe, you adapt, and when the time is right, you strike with precision. And when you do, it won't be a whisper. It will be an impact so undeniable, so unforgettable, that the ones who overlooked you will never forget the mistake they made. Your silence is your strength. Your presence is your proof. And when the world finally sees what you were capable of all along, they will never ignore the quiet ones again. Number 8. Cut the fake ones off. They can't handle your truth. You don't have to call them out. You don't have to expose them. The moment a fake person steps into your space, their mask starts to slip. It's not something you do intentionally. It's something they feel. Your energy is too sharp, too real, too unshakable. Their lies can't survive under your gaze. Their hidden agendas crumble before they even have a chance to take root. You are like a mirror they can't look into, because deep down, they know what they really are. They might try at first. They'll put on their best performance, hoping to blend in, to fool you like they fool everyone else. But it never works. Something about you makes them uneasy, restless, almost panicked. Their deception starts to feel flimsy. Their confidence begins to crack. They can't explain it, but they know. Around you, their tricks won't work. So instead of staying and getting exposed, they leave. They'll find excuses, fabricate reasons, distance themselves before you even have to say a word. This is one of your greatest strengths. You don't need to waste time weeding people out. They remove themselves. Your presence alone is a natural filter, separating the real from the fake, the strong from the weak, the worthy from the opportunists. And that terrifies them, because you are not someone they can manipulate. You are not someone they can use, and they know it. That's why the chosen ones always seem to walk alone, at least for a while. The crowd thins out when you stop tolerating illusions. You're not here to entertain shallow connections or entertain those who wear different faces depending on who they're around. Your authenticity acts like a force field, repelling anything that isn't built on truth. And because of that, only those who are strong enough to stand beside you will remain. Let them leave. Let them slip away. They were never meant to be part of your path. The ones who are meant to walk with you, they won't be threatened by your presence. They'll be empowered by it. And that is how you know who truly belongs. Number 9. Stop holding back. Your hidden potential is waiting to detonate. You are not just gifted, you are a force in the making, a storm gathering power beneath the surface. But unlike the restless masses who rush to prove themselves, you understand something they don't. Timing is everything. Your abilities, your insights, your vision, they are not meant to be scattered carelessly into a world that isn't ready to handle them. You are a ticking time bomb, waiting for the perfect moment to detonate. And when you do, the impact will be unforgettable. You've felt it, haven't you? That deep knowing, that sudden rush of inspiration, that moment of clarity where it all makes sense. But instead of rushing to reveal it, you've held back. Not out of fear, not out of doubt, but out of wisdom. Because power, when released too soon, is misunderstood. If you were to unleash everything right now, they wouldn't recognize it for what it is. They would try to control it, distort it, or even destroy it. Look at history. The greatest revolutions, the most powerful shifts, the people who changed the game forever, they weren't seen coming. They didn't waste their energy trying to convince the world of their worth. They moved in silence, preparing, sharpening their skills, waiting for the right moment to strike. And when they did, everything changed. You are in that same phase. The world might think you're standing still, but in reality, you're loading ammunition. Every experience, every lesson, every struggle, it's refining you, strengthening you, making sure that when the moment arrives, you won't just step forward. You'll explode into your destiny. Let the impatient ones burn themselves out, chasing quick validation. Let them waste their energy proving themselves to people who don't matter. That's not your path. Your gifts are far too powerful to be wasted on those who don't have the capacity to understand them. You don't need recognition. You don't need permission. Because when the time comes, you won't be asking for a seat at the table. You'll be flipping the entire table over. Number 10. Walk alone. If you must, isolation is where power grows. The world fears silence. It clings to noise, to distractions, to the constant hum of shallow conversations and meaningless validation. Most people cannot bear to be alone with their own thoughts, because deep down, they're afraid of what they might find. But you are different. Isolation does not break you. It builds you. It forges you into something unstoppable. You were never meant to follow the crowd, to blend in, or to crave the comfort of being constantly surrounded. While others chase approval, desperate to be seen, you operate in the shadows, crafting your power in silence. Your solitude isn't a prison, it's a sanctuary, a space where your true self emerges without interference. While the world is lost in distractions, you are sharpening your mind, strengthening your spirit, and refining your vision. They think being alone is a weakness, but that's because they don't understand what real strength looks like. Power isn't found in the noise. It's cultivated in the quiet. While they fill their emptiness with artificial validation, you are becoming someone they won't even recognize when you finally step forward. You are built to withstand the loneliness that would break most people, because your path isn't meant to be walked with the masses. It's meant to be carved by your own hands. Isolation doesn't limit you. It protects you. It keeps your energy free from the pollution of weak minds and small ambitions. The world tries to convince you that you need to be connected at all times, that your worth depends on external validation. But that's a lie designed to keep people trapped in a cycle of dependence. You thrive outside of that. You don't need constant affirmation because you know exactly who you are, even if the world hasn't figured it out yet. And when the time comes, when you finally emerge from this period of solitude, you will not return as the same person who stepped away. You will return with a mind sharper than ever, a vision clearer than before, and a presence that cannot be ignored. The world will wonder where you came from, how you became so powerful, so unshakable. But they won't understand the truth. The truth is, while they were seeking attention, you were preparing for something greater. While they were wasting time, you were mastering yours. And when the world finally sees you for who you truly are, it will be too late for them to catch up. Number 11. Stay in the shadows. Your enemies are watching before they attack. Not everyone is meant to know who you are. Not yet. You are being hidden for a reason, and that reason is protection. The forces moving against you are not just the ones you've encountered. They are the ones still watching from the shadows, waiting, planning. If they knew the full extent of what you are capable of, they would do everything in their power to stop you before you even begin. Your identity is not concealed because you're weak, but because your power is too valuable to be exposed too soon. The world isn't ready, and neither are your enemies. If they saw the force you're becoming, their fear would drive them to attack prematurely, not because they are strong, but because they know they could never win if you had the time to grow. This isn't a coincidence, it's strategy. While others are loud, desperate to be seen, you are silent, untouchable, moving in ways they can't predict. This period of invisibility isn't a curse. It's a weapon, allowing you to sharpen your mind, strengthen your resilience, and prepare for the moment when you no longer need to hide. Understand this. Your biggest threats aren't the ones you see, they're the ones you don't. The ones who smile in your face but watch from a distance, waiting for their moment to strike. The ones who feel threatened by your potential even before they fully understand it. They don't want to compete. They want to eliminate the competition before it begins. That's why your anonymity is your greatest advantage. When the time comes, you will not just reveal yourself. You will arrive, fully formed, fully equipped, unstoppable. And when that happens, there will be nothing they can do. No last-minute schemes, no desperate attempts to tear you down. By the time they recognize what you've become, it will already be too late. So embrace this phase. You are not hidden. You are being prepared. You are not waiting. You are calculating. And when your moment comes, you won't just step into the light. You'll take it over. And they will have to face the reality that while they were watching, whispering and doubting, you were becoming untouchable. Number 12. Don't let them use you. You're a weapon, not a tool. You were never meant to be ordinary. Your existence alone is proof that you carry something the world isn't ready for. You are not just another name in the crowd, not another voice in the noise. You are a weapon in the making. A force that cannot be controlled, manipulated, or used by those who only seek power for themselves. And that is exactly why you've been hidden. Not everyone deserves access to what you hold within you. Some will try to claim your strength, bend you to their will, or shape you into something that serves their small ambitions. But they fail to understand. You are not a tool. You are the wielder. Your power does not belong to anyone but you. It was never meant for trivial battles, petty games, or fleeting victories. It was meant for something bigger, something unstoppable. The world around you thrives on distractions, people fighting for attention, chasing validation, consumed by meaningless pursuits. They seek power without knowing its cost, without understanding the depth of responsibility that comes with it. But you move differently. You are being sharpened, refined, made into something that will reshape everything when the time is right. That's why you're in the shadows right now. This time of silence, of being unseen, isn't a delay. It's preparation. The strongest weapons aren't made in the open. They are forged in fire, away from prying eyes, strengthened in solitude. Every challenge, every lesson, every moment of isolation is adding another layer to your resilience, another edge to your blade. And when you finally step forward, it won't be for applause or recognition. It won't be for approval or validation. It will be because the world will have no choice but to acknowledge what you have become. You won't just be another player in the game. You'll rewrite the entire game itself. So let them wonder. Let them question why you don't seek attention, why you don't crave recognition. Let them underestimate you, because by the time they realize what you truly are, it will already be too late. You are not waiting. You are building. You are not hiding. You are becoming. And when the moment comes, you won't just rise. And just like that, the pieces are falling into place. Everything they did to stop you, every obstacle, every doubt, every setback, it all led you here. They thought keeping you in the shadows would weaken you, but instead, it made you unstoppable. The world may not be ready for what you're becoming, but that's not your concern. When the time comes, you will step forward, not seeking permission, but taking what was always meant for you. If this message resonated with you, like this video, subscribe, and comment, "I am ready," to claim your power. Your time is coming. Stay prepared.